So there's a common theme that plays out in a lot of movies. It's part of the hero's journey, where the hero finds a guide or a mentor. Usually it's somebody old and wise, and they're teaching them and training them the entire time they go on this journey together. And as they go, they eventually come to a point where the hero is about to lose the mentor. In those final moments when they're about to leave, the mentor, the guide, stops and says, "There's one more thing I need to tell you. There's something I haven't yet said, and it's the most important thing of all." And then they tell him some life-changing, plotline twisting piece of information that the hero absolutely needs to go forward. Now, the interesting thing for us is that Jesus kind of did this exact same thing. Give me a second. By the way, I'm just really excited to show you guys my new espresso setup. I've been so happy with it. Look at this. So in John 13, 33 through 35, Jesus is about to leave. He's spending his last night with his disciples, and he tells them in the very end, he says this, "Little children, I am with you a little while longer, and you will seek me. Where I am going, you cannot come. Yet a new commandment I give to you, that you would love one another." And then he says this, he says, "By this all men will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another." Now, we all know this passage, we're very, very familiar with it, but there's something so profound. He says this is going to be the defining feature, the distinguishing mark of my body, of followers of Christ, is going to be how they love one another. There's something really interesting for us to consider in how this applies to us and how it applies to the church today. And I learned this from Francis Chan. Let me finish making this real quick and we'll talk more. You gotta come see this. Ooh, that is so beautiful. That is an absolute thing of beauty right there. Oh my gosh. Let me finish this drink and I'll tell you more. All right, I am an amateur. Give me some grace. You know what? That's not going to win any competitions. I'll take it. Let me get you upstairs and we'll finish our conversation. The question Francis Chan asked was this: what are churches known for? And another way of putting it is, how do you choose a church to go to? Now, churches are known for a lot of different things. There are churches that are famous for their preaching. There are churches that are famous for their worship. There's churches that are known for their programs and their outreach efforts. And we choose churches for a lot of different reasons. We go to churches with this checklist of services that we need provided to meet our needs. Is the preaching good? Is the worship the right style? Are the services short enough? And what times are the services? And those are the kinds of things churches are known for. But how many churches are known for how they love one another? And how often when people choose a church, do they go into that church and go, wow, look at how they love one another. This is where God's calling me. We're known for all kinds of different things, but the thing that Jesus wants us to be known for is for how we love each other. And so as I went about this journey of planting a church, I knew right from the very beginning that I wanted this to be a priority for us. If we're known for anything at all, I want it to be that we are known for how we love each other. And so how do we do this? How do we become a community that's known for this? Well, that is a really big question. And I have 2 words I think that can help us along this journey. But the first thing we need to say is that you cannot get there just by attending meetings. If you just show up, sit in a seat, listen to people talk, and then run out the door before anyone can get to know you, you're never going to get to the place where you're really loving each other. Loving each other only truly happens in a community. We need to get to know each other. We need to be involved in each other's lives. But here are 2 words that I think can help us to understand this better and help us on our journey to get there. The first word is this: support. Now we hear that word support all the time, but the definition literally is to bear all or part of the weight of something. It means to hold something up. When I got called to launch this church, I have been amazed at the people that have come around us that have supported us. And I've told my wife, man, I just feel so uplifted by these people. The burden just feels lighter. There have been so many people who have really helped carry the weight of this thing, and I am so grateful for you. Do you have people in your life that make you feel uplifted by their words, by their actions, by their kindness, by their deeds? You just feel lighter when you're around them. In Galatians 6:2, it talks about how a Christian community should support each other. It says, bear one another's burdens. And then in another verse, it says, because each one bears his own load. See, everyone has a weight to carry. And there's times where we have a weight that we're carrying that we need help with. And then there's other times where there is a weight someone else is carrying that we can help them with. And what are these weights? There's the things that we automatically think of, like sickness, financial needs, a death in the family, a pregnancy, where we can all come around and support that person. But there's other things that we don't think about so easily. In this passage in Galatians, the burden that Paul's talking about is actually their sins and their failures and their weaknesses. And in Colossians, it tells us to put on a heart of compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience, bearing with one another and forgiving one another. The verse before it says that we need to put aside anger, wrath, malice, slander, and abusive speech from our mouths. And why does it say that? Because at times in a Christian community, you're going to come across people that you think need those things. You're like, I have some abusive speech for you right now, and I think you might need a little bit of wrath. See, it's easy to bear the burdens of people we like. It's easy to bear the burdens of people who are really easy. I saw a meme one time that said, when the pastor preaches a message on loving those who are difficult to love, and then after the service, everyone wants to come up and shake your hand, right? That's what this reminds me of. One of the reasons why our love will stand out and show people that we're followers of Jesus is because it's uncommon, because we love each other even in our difficulties, even in our failures and our shortcomings. And in a biblical community, God brings together a diverse group of people from all different places and backgrounds who would never naturally be friends, and God brings them in community to support each other and bear one another's burdens. The second word that can help guide us is this: generosity. Now, whenever we think of generosity or even support, we almost automatically think of finances. But the generosity that God wants us to have with each other is so much bigger than either of those things. One of the marks of the kind of community that God wants to build is how generous we are with our love, how generous we are with our time, with our attention, with our kindness, with our words, with our service. And yes, even with our money. So often when the world gives, it's always thinking of what it will receive in return. It's always a calculation. What can I spare and what am I gonna get back? Maybe I'll get a return friendship with someone I really want to be friends with. Maybe I'll get a better reputation or my image will be improved. But God's agape love, the kind of love that he wants his community to have for each other, has no limits. It's not thinking, what can I spare? It's thinking, how much can I give? It's looking for ways to support each other, to love each other, to be generous with everything we have and everything we are. Jesus says the distinguishing feature of the kind of church, the kind of community that he wants to build, is how they love one another. That should be the thing that people notice above all else. And that's a long journey for us to get there, but I think that if we focus on lifting each other's burdens and being generous with our love, we'll eventually get there. If you're planning on joining us Sunday morning, I look forward to seeing you there. God bless you guys. Later.